Hello and welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobi Osei. Coming up on the Business Dashboard today. Number of checks issued in the first half of this year drops due to growth in electronic transactions. Also, a year after the collapse of Capital Bank, we bring you a report on how the severe liquidity challenges affected the bank. Meanwhile, over 370,000 families could be affected over the collapse of Unibank. And later in the news, freight forwarders threatening to demonstrate over cargo tracking notes at the ports. Details of these stories and many others coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let's take our first story now. The number of checks presented to banks in Ghana will continue to drop following an increase in the digitization of payment systems in the country. That's according to software engineer and co-founder of Syst Company Limited, Nii Osai Dade. Data released by the Bank of Ghana shows that the number of checks usually cleared within 3 days dropped in the first half of this year to 3.3 million from 3.4 million recorded in the first half of 2017. Now, this represents a drop of 1.39%. Speaking on the development, Mr. Osai Dade stated that the shift towards instant payments via mobile money and online payments platforms should account for a continuous drop in the use of checks.
The use of checks has been with us for as long as banking itself. But with the number of payments options available to Ghanaians increasing, the use of checks appears to be dwindling slowly. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, in 2016, the total number of ordinary checks issued, which clear in 3 days, was 6.9 million. This number reduced to 6.8 million in 2017. The trend continued in the first half of 2018. The number of checks issued in the first half of 2017, which was 3.4 million, reduced to 3.3 million in the first half of this year. But what is accounting for the continuous drop in the number of checks issued in the country? Nii Osai Dade is co-founder of software engineering company Syst.
The way we see it in the financial technological space, that most people previously, where people were sending out checks and then the checks would clear. And in some cases, when you send a check, it clears in a day. In other cases, 2 or 3 days. And nowadays, people are in the desire for instant payments or instant cash because of the advent of mobile money, where I can now send someone money across the country. The person will receive it instantly. And now businesses are now have the desire for such instant payments. So realize that some businesses have gone in for merchant accounts in mobile money, where they run these mobile money accounts like bank accounts, so that now their payments can be made into those merchant accounts. So you realize that as time goes on, with the influx of more money, subscribers broken into the space, the businesses who hitherto would have received checks are now saying paying to our more money accounts.
Mobile money can be blamed as one of the key reasons for the drop in the issuance of checks in the past 2 years. Data from the central bank indicates that between the first half of 2017 and the first half of 2018, the total value of mobile money transactions shot up significantly from 68.2 billion to 104.6 billion cedis. This translates into about 53% rise for the period. Such an impressive growth, coupled with other developments, are aiding in government's drive towards a cash-light society. But a recent consideration of mobile money tax on the government has many stakeholders worried that the gains achieved on the digital payment fronts could be reversed with the introduction of such a tax. The Forbes Africa 30 Under 30 member, Nii Osai Dade, believes government should rather focus on making the use of digital payment platforms more affordable.
The number one thing will be the charges. The charges, even though relatively they are cheaper now, but they can be better. Because for an ecosystem to grow, we need usability, we need more network effects, we need more people to come into the ecosystem. You get it? So if you want to maybe like tax mobile money transactions, that would be counterintuitive, because people would be taken back who would want to even join the ecosystem because it's now too expensive. But if it's cheaper, more people will join, there will be more transactions, the transaction volume will be higher, and even the charge on the transaction volume will increase. So the operators of such systems will now gain more money, and then will pay more taxes to the government. Let's make it as cheap as we can for more people to join. There will be more transactions, the volume will increase, then the taxes can come from the corporate side and not necessarily from the people side.
Now, it has been a year since the Bank of Ghana allowed GCB Bank to assume UT and Capital banks in a purchase and assumption agreement. The central bank, among others, cited the two banks for operating low minimum capital levels, which could have had dire consequences on the financial sector. The following report brings you a wrap on the journey so far on how Capital Bank's severe liquidity issues affected the bank's fortunes.
Capital Bank gained its banking license in August 2013. This was after the company had transformed from a savings and loans entity, First Capital Plus Limited, which had been operating since 2009. Its key founders include Mr. Atu Essien and Dr. Mensah Otabil. The two gentlemen operated as founder and chairman respectively. Reverend Fitzgerald Odonko subsequently joined as CEO of the bank. The woes of Capital Bank date as far as 2014, when it was First Capital Plus Bank. A leaked memo subsequently published by the Insight newspaper indicated that the CEO at the time, John Kofi Mensah, cautioned that the bank was on the verge of collapse. In Mr. Mensah's words, the situation is a time bomb. He also argued that the bank has capitalization issues and may not be able to meet its obligations to its clients, with a daring challenge associated with third-party funds TPF. For Mr. Mensah, the apparent lack of urgency to solve the problems even after the recommendations of a three-member committee established to investigate the issues confronting the bank left much to be desired. Within its first year as a bank, Capital Bank was awarded as the best bank in 3 categories at the Ghana Banking Awards. The company was adjudged the best growing bank, best bank in deposits and savings, and best bank in household retail banking for the year 2015. Fast forward to 2017, and Capital Bank is considered as one of the distressed banks which are unable to meet their cash requirements to transact business. Weeks after the Bank of Ghana announced that some 9 banks have dire liquidity challenges, hence it will be compelled to take drastic action against them, the news broke that GCB Bank has taken over Capital Bank and UT Bank in a purchase agreement. A year into the collapse of the bank, and a report by Boulders Advisors Limited cited the founder of Capital Bank, William Atu Essien, for misappropriating part of the 610 million cedis liquidity support provided by the Bank of Ghana. Amongst others, Mr. Essien is cited as using the support to invest in other businesses such as All Time Capital, Commerce Savings and Loans, Ocean Spring, Ascent Financial Services, among others. Meanwhile, the former board chairman of Capital Bank, Pastor Mensah Otabil, has also absolved himself of acting to prevailing report. His basis is that he has been a non-executive board member since. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has also cautioned that all persons found culpable will not be spared.
The question is not one of a banking failure. I need to be able to tell you that that managing director or that shareholder stole that money. And it has to be very upfront because that's 5 billion that I'm using as opposed to in SHS or school feeding or maternal pregnancy, and the issue of sentiments out of it.
Still staying with banking, the collapse of Unibank could have led to the loss of the savings of over 370,000 individuals, a report by KPMG has said. According to the document, Unibank's financial position presented significant systemic risk to Ghana's financial sector stability. The license of Unibank was recently revoked by the Bank of Ghana after the central bank appointed an administrator to manage the bank. There is more in this City Business News Desk report.
The report stated that not only will the activities of the bank affect individuals, but key institutions such as hospitals, universities, and other institutions partly owned by government. In addition, some state-owned enterprises are said to be exposed to the bank, while the bank is said to owe pension funds and non-bank financial institutions to the tune of 850 million cedis. It further warned that of a total deposits of 4.1 billion cedis, 3.5 billion is expected to mature in the next 90 days. It stated that Unibank also owes $71.8 million to 6 international institutions. The report warned that not paying these balances could significantly erode investor confidence in Ghana. Also, it added that Ghana's credit risk ratings could be impacted, placing further pressure on the financial sector and wider economy. The document pointed out that the company was overstaffed compared to others in the banking sector, causing a drain on its financials. According to the document, Unibank, prior to the revocation of its license, had 811 permanent staff, 64 contract staff, 990 outsourced staff, and 79 national service staff for a bank with just 54 branches. That was not all. The bank also had related entities whose staff depended on it for financial support.
Now, Mrs. Josephine Annan Ankuma has been appointed to the position of Group Executive Commercial Banking at Ecobank headquarters in Lomé. As the Executive Committee member, Josephine will report to the Group CEO in Togo. Well, we are going for a quick break. You're still watching the Business Dashboard. When we do return, freight forwarders threatening to demonstrate over cargo tracking notes at the port.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Selim Adonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
Hello, you're welcome back to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobby Ose. Let's bring you some more business stories. Now, the Cane Weavers Association are calling on government to include them in its one district, one factory policy. The weavers, who believe their industry is expanding very fast, say their ultimate need is a factory and will be very enthused should government include them in their plans. But how well is the business thriving? Jessica Ekwai highlights the industry in this feature.
One cannot miss the beautiful sight of weaved chairs, baskets, sets of furniture, and others lined up along stretches of some principal streets of Accra and even beyond. Yes, these weaved chairs are made from cane and bamboo trees found in the deep forest here in Ghana. Not only that, they are beautifully carved 100% handmade products. My team and I visited the Weaving Center at Cantonment in Accra to interact with these artisans about their business. Philip Osono is a weaver who hails from Atiwa Achem. He has done this job for the past 16 years. Philip says their best season for selling is usually in December.
Do Christmas nedia obia ntina do Christmas ya yenu anu mo village amuntu me emfa adwuma we ntina nkran ha mo bra no do Christmas omoba be 1 month 2 weeks na say bia 3 weeks e die nim for Christmas no omo so ba ti me be ye bibi kakra no mo anya bi because that ade no ya e beto ntino anya din.
This industry, however, also faces some major challenges which could stifle its growth. A major one, according to Mr. Asante, is the difficulty in getting the raw materials, thus willow, bamboo and cane for their production. He also adds that when it rains, prices soar higher, which interferes with their profits.
In so to na baby debano na in so nintina ne boayedi. Opesia na ne bo no kofom kakra. Ana ye yanka sansu nika ebeko bushi wa kofa ba nintino. Omo de bad omo pe bia no muton.
A set of cane woven couch is selling at between 1,000 and 2,500 cedis depending on the design. A dining set is going for between 600 and 1,000 Ghana cedis. One could get a neatly woven baby cot for about 500 cedis, whereas the basket or vase will be sold to you at between 100 and 200 Ghana cedis. Interacting with some customers, they tell me the weaved products are more durable than the others, judging from its longer time span.
The reason why I like all these cane chair and baskets and all that is that I'm a Ghanaian and I appreciate the handwork of my own fellow Ghanaians. I encourage every Ghanaian or Ghanaians or blacks to, patronize this handcraft, these cane chairs. Yeah, because they are very durable.
Meanwhile, the president of the Cantonment Cane Weavers Association, Thomas Peace Dapa, wants government to include them in its flagship program, the One District, One Factory, to show up the returns as the business at the moment is not lucrative.
Government na yesra ye wonipa baku 150 wa ha aye yensa no dwuma wa ha yesra na yehia shed ena One District, One Factory no omra no mabuai na One District, One Factory no enya dwuma.
For such a business with great prospects, these artisans only wish for the government to back them with the necessary support and funding to make the industry thrive. For City Business News, my name is Jessica Ayoko Ayi.
Well, let's head to the ports for our next story. Now, the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders has served notice it may embark on a demonstration should government refuse to heed their call to suspend the Cargo Tracking Note System, CTN. The freight forwarders have strongly opposed the implementation of the CTN as they complain of the hardship it has brought on them. President of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Kwabena Ufosuapia, tells City Business News their action will be necessary when all negotiations fail.
That's what leadership is all about. You must be able to harness the energies of your people so it doesn't explode the way you don't want it to explode. That's exactly what we're doing. So from here, like we just announced today, Monday at 9 a.m. we are holding a press conference to let the whole world know the conversations so far and what is going to happen on Monday.
Some of them are calling for demonstration. Are you going to grant that?
Like I keep saying, no options out. Every option is included. If it means we have to embark on a demonstration, sit down whichever action that we will take legitimately to drum home our issues. Because as it is now, we think we are not being given a hearing.
Now, traders at the Tiptoe Lane near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra, whose shops were ransacked, are calling for the arrest of the perpetrators. 13 shops were broken into by some unknown persons some days ago. Now, the affected persons have blamed 2 Nigerians for the incident, saying it was a deliberate attempt to take over their businesses. Chairman of the Circle No. 1 Traders Association, Seth Owusu-Yeboah, has been speaking to City Business News.
The unknown persons broke the doors of the 13 shops and took away various items, including mobile phones, shirts, laptops, and money. The furious traders did not hide their anger as they vowed to stop further attempts to demolish their structures. Although the perpetrators are not known, the traders are blaming 2 Nigerians who own a story building close to their shops as the people behind the attempted demolition. It took appeals from Deputy Interior Minister Henry Korte, who is also the Member of Parliament for the area, to calm the angry traders. However, a visit to the area today revealed that the traders have resumed their operations. Chairman of the Circle No. 1 Traders Association, Seth Yeboah, has been speaking to City News.
When the incident happened, the divisional commander invited us to NIMA to make an official report. So, together with my people, the 13 affected people, we went to NIMA police station to lodge a complaint. And yesterday, we were called to come. Unfortunately, when we went, the leader was having a meeting, so we couldn't meet the leader. We were told that we should come today. So today when we went, another meeting was held, and they have directed us to come on Monday so that they will invite the Alhaji, the leader who did that thing. They invite him, then if possibly they will invite the Honorable Minister Moses Abo, and then together with us, so then we come and sit down, we talk, we see the way forward.
The whereabouts of the 2 Nigerians is not currently known. The police would not give much information, but City News has learned a man was arrested earlier this week in connection with the incident. Mr. Yeboah again says the perpetrators must be brought to book.
Oh, we don't have problem with the Nigerians, but the problem we are having is the one who instructed did what they do previous day. Yes, but Nigerians, we the Ghanaians, we are not having any grudge with Nigerians at all. The government should help us arrest the one who did that.
The Deputy Interior Minister, Henry Korte, has assured that investigations will begin into the incident. It is unclear when the investigations will end. For City News, I am Nana Oyankra.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobie Osei. When we return, we'll bring you some of the latest business stories from the international front.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
International media, he said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who's played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on City TV. For regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes.
You're welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. Let's bring you some international business stories. Donald Trump has called for U.S. companies to issue financial reports just twice a year rather than 4 times. The U.S. president said he has asked the Securities and Exchange Commission to consider altering rules requiring firms to report every quarter. Now, the move would improve flexibility and save money, Mr. Trump said. Now, some analysts have criticized the idea, which they say would keep investors in the dark for longer. Mr. Trump tweeted, "In speaking with some of the world's top business leaders, I asked what it is that would make businesses, that's jobs, even better in the U.S. Stop quarterly reporting and go to a 6-month system," said one, he tweeted. President Trump said he had asked the SEC to study such a move. Still staying with the U.S., it has threatened to impose more economic sanctions on Turkey if it does not free a detained American pastor. Andrew Brunson has been held in Turkey for nearly 2 years over alleged links to outlawed political groups. The dispute over his release has seen the 2 NATO allies impose tariffs on one another's goods. This has worsened a crisis for Turkey's currency, the lira, which has lost about 1/3 of its value against the dollar since January. The crisis has prompted widespread selling in other emerging markets, sparking fears of a global crisis. Now, hundreds of Google employees have written to the company to protest against plans to launch a censored search engine in China. They said the project raised urgent moral and ethical questions and urged the firm to be more transparent. Currently, we do not have the information required to make ethically informed decisions about our work, they added. Google, which has never spoken publicly about the plans, declined to comment. Well, that brings an end to today's edition of the Business Dashboard. For more news, do visit citybusinessnews.com. My name is Bubi Osei. Do enjoy the rest of your night.